Okay, we're live.
Okay, the meeting will now come to order. Welcome to the June 30th, 2021 meeting of the Durham County Board of Equalization and Review. My name is David Smith and I'm the chair of the board. I would like to start by acknowledging that we are conducting this meeting using a remote electronic platform as permitted by Session Law 2020-3. The Board of Equalization and Review is a quasi-judicial board that is governed by the North Carolina General Statutes. The board conducts evidentiary hearings on appeals from appraised, real, and personal property valuation. Today's meeting will proceed much like an in-person meeting of the Board of Equalization and Review. On the screen, you will see the members of the Board of Equalization and Review. Additionally, tax staff and representatives from the county attorney's offices may be present in the remote meeting. Applicants and their witnesses, if any, were required to register in advance and are also attending the remote meeting. When a case is called for its hearing, speakers will be prompted within the remote platform where the video can be seen. The chair will swear in applicants and witnesses at the beginning of each case. Staff will present each case and applicants will then provide their evidence. Control of the presentation and screen sharing will remain with the tax staff. Today's meeting is being broadcast live on the county's YouTube site, and a link to this broadcast is on the website for the Board of Equalization and Review. Before we begin the evidentiary hearings on today's agenda, I would like to provide some important information about the steps taken to ensure that each party's due process rights are protected as we proceed in this remote platform. Each applicant on today's agenda was notified that this meeting would be conducted using a remote electronic platform. During registration, every applicant on today's agenda consented to the board conducting the evidentiary hearing using this remote platform. We will also confirm today at the start of each evidentiary hearing that the participants in the evidentiary hearing consent to the matter proceeding in this remote platform. If there is any objection to a matter proceeding in this remote platform, the case will be continued. Notice of today's meeting was provided by publishing notice in the newspaper and by mail to the applicant. The newspaper notices for today's meeting contain information on how the public can access the remote meeting as the meeting occurs. These notices also contain information about the registration requirement for the meeting, along with information about how to register. All individuals participating in today's evidentiary hearing are also required to submit a copy of any presentation, document, exhibit, or other material that they wish to submit at the evidentiary hearing prior to today's meeting. No new documents will be submitted during today's meeting. All decisions of this board are subject to appeal to the North Carolina Property Tax Commission. With that, let's get started. The first thing on our agenda is the consent agenda, which are items 1 through 20.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
All right, so for agenda item number 1, parcel 227905.
Yes.
It was on our last agenda on the 16th, but the value was incorrect. The value was 478,523 on the agenda, but it's actually 477,708. So we would like for you all to rescind the previous vote if you can on the wrong value and then vote on the new value.
Okay. All right. In that case, for item number 1,
Number 1.
I need a motion to rescind the value that we had at a previous meeting.
I make a motion, we rescind the value.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right, then we'll move along to the consent agenda items 1 through 20. Do I have a motion regarding those first 20 items?
I move that we accept those first 20 items.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, let's move on to item number 21. Amanda, are you here somewhere?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, there you are. Let's get you sworn in, please. If you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name and position with the county, please.
Amanda Markle, Deputy Assessor over Personal Property.
Do you know if anybody is here on this case?
I believe they were scheduled to. Courtney, has anyone shown up for the cannons?
No, I haven't heard anything,
Okay.
or they haven't showed up. So
All right, then please proceed.
So I'm not sure if we need to go into a separate room because this is income related.
Okay. Can you put us in a separate room, Courtney?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. We all need to join, correct?
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you're still muted. All right.
Yeah, where's David? Is he?
He might still be in the breakout room. Let me see. I don't have a way of seeing if he's there or not. So, okay, there he goes.
There he is. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's move on to items 22 through 27. Amanda, is anybody going to be here for any of these as far as you know?
As far as I know, no one should be here for these. Items number 22 through 27 are all the exact same scenario. We have applications for the disabled veteran, the elderly disabled exclusion, and the present use value programs, that the application was received in the year that they were applying for. It was just received after the deadline for that particular year. They meet all of the qualifications with the exception of the untimely application.
Okay, and how untimely were they? A little or a lot or?
A little. Well, in the scheme of things. So, for example, Michelle Doss, the very first one, her application was received in November. She's applying for 2020, and we received it in November.
Okay.
So it was due June 1st of last year. Received it in November. And then I have Mr. Gonzalez. His was due on June 1st of this year. We received it on June 2nd of this year. So, and then we have the Boone. It was due, I'm sorry, there's sirens going past me.
That's okay.
The Boone family, they were due June 1st of this year. We received it June 7th of this year.
Okay. All right. Any questions or discussion from the board? Then I'll entertain a motion regarding items 22 through 27.
I move that we accept those items as timely.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it passes. Okay, items 28 through 33.
And I'm not sure if anyone is here for CIP rural property.
Is anybody here from CIP Real Property? Okay. All right, what have you got for this one, Amanda?
This is a several 2020 exemption applications. The due date for these was actually January of 2020, but we can accept untimely applications through December 31st of 2020. These applications were received on April the 1st of 2021. So they were received outside of the calendar year, and they are appealing their denial because we had to deny them for submitting after the end of the calendar year.
So you can't accept it. Can we, if we, or we can't even do that either?
No, yeah, there's nothing in the statute that'll allow you to accept it after the end of the calendar year.
Okay. All right. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion regarding items 28 through 33.
I make a motion, we accept the board's determination.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Sorry, who seconded it? Was that Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's move on to item, let's see, what time is it? Okay, we're on time. Item number 34. We have Mr. Roberts from staff.
Yes, he's here.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hello,
All
board.
right. Let's get you sworn in, please. You'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
State your name and position with the county, please.
I am James Roberts. I'm the commercial appraisal supervisor.
Okay. And this first one here, the Durham Marriott, is somebody here from the Durham Marriott Hotel?
Yes, Mr. Smith, this is Reed Hollander, counsel to the Durham Marriott Hotel.
Okay, well, let's get you sworn in too, please, sir. If you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Are you comfortable using this Zoom format for your case?
So I have a question, Mr. Chairman. You stated at the outset something regarding exhibits that would be considered. There are some documents that went back and forth between me and the county tax office, which of course should be in the county tax office file. If those documents are available to the board, then that's really all I need. But if those are not available to the board or won't be part of the county's presentation, then I would need you all to see those documents. So I also did not see anything in the notice of hearing saying that exhibits needed to be tendered ahead of time. I'm prepared to share my screen and show you the relevant correspondence, but if that's not available, we'll have to figure out some other way or postpone if that's appropriate.
So do you have additional information?
So what I was planning to share is simply the correspondence that I emailed to the county tax office and the response I received from the county tax office when I sent in the appeal letter. Again, those were dated May 5th of 2021, the day before the deadline, when I sent in my appeal letter by email and received an acknowledgement that it was received back from Ms. Hairston. So if you all have that, then we can discuss that when it's my turn to discuss that. But if you all don't have that, you know, I would need you all to see that so that that's part of the record.
Okay, Mr. Roberts, do we have the information he was referring to?
I do not know. I was not aware that he had a correspondence on the 5th. It is not our position to, we are not recommending a denial of this. So if that is the case, then we would certainly support their request for a timely ruling.
All right, well, let's go ahead and hear this case. Mr. Roberts, what's the deal? Why aren't you're not appealing this denial? I mean, you agree with this that
yeah, certainly if he was in communication on the 5th, then we do not we are not against the approval of a timely status.
okay. All right. How late was this filed? It was untimely.
It was within no more than 2 weeks after the date that it was input into the system.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hollander, why was this filed late?
Well, Mr. Smith and members of the board, as is standard practice, when I file appeals, I both mailed it and emailed it to the county. So it was mailed from our office on the 5th, the day before the deadline. And of course, I don't know the date it was received in Durham from Raleigh, but it could have been a couple days to get there. So it might have come in the day after, but that's why I always email them as well. And I emailed it to the assessor at the email address I used was, let me pull up the email here, tax_assessor@dconc.gov, attaching the letter and explaining that we were, filing the letter and requesting a hearing before the board on this parcel. And Ms. Hairston responded. That was emailed at 1:34 p.m. on April the 5th. And Ms. Hairston responded at 2:42 that same day and said, "Good afternoon. Your appeal request was forwarded to the Real Property Division. If further information is needed, you will be contacted by a member of the appraisal work group. Thank you." So based on that, it looked to me like everything had been in their office the day before the deadline.
Mr. Roberts, is it appropriate to email an appeal, or does it have to be mailed?
Yes, certainly it is. And I would guess that the paper copy that came in the mail may have been used to override the initial entry into Specialist. So someone may have entered it based on his email, and then someone may have come behind them a few weeks later and entered the paper copy that came in the mail and overridden the original date.
Okay, so do you think it was emailed timely?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the board? Any discussion? Okay, then I will entertain a motion on number 34.
I move that we accept it as timely.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you, Mr. Hollander.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Okay, let's move on to number 35. This is Rigsby Avenue Holdings, LLC. Is somebody here for that case?
I don't anticipate anyone being here, but we can certainly see if anyone speaks up.
No, I don't see anybody. Okay.
So we actually are recommending an acceptance on this because we've been in communication The appellants attempted to file the appeal through the online portal on the day before the last day of acceptance, and it did not work. They subsequently called us, and a work order went into our share will system to call them back, but the phone call was never returned. And so the date that this was actually entered was when they called a second time, and we spoke with them. So they made every attempt to get it in on time, but we failed in returning their phone call to get this put in on time.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Any discussion?
No.
Then I will entertain a motion on number 35.
I make a motion, we accept it as timely.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, moving on to number 36. This is Victon Backlion. Is somebody present for that property? Okay, Mr. Roberts, what's the story with this one?
So we have received no given reason as to why this should be accepted. We haven't been and received any return phone calls or emails from our attempts to reach out. So we don't know why this was filed late.
So they just filed the appeal and you haven't heard anything else from them, is that correct?
Correct. And I believe this is the same, a property that you all ruled on last year as well.
Okay. Well, since we don't have really any evidence, I don't see how we can change the determination. Do I have any questions from the board? Any discussion? Then I'll entertain a motion on number 36.
I move that we uphold the county decision as untimely.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Have a good day.
Okay. Well, let's move on to number 37. Mr. Westry, are you here?
Yes, I am.
There you are. We need to see your face, though. Can you do that?
Let's see what we got going on here. Because the camera is literally right here.
We see your keyboard. We just don't see you.
All right, let's
Pointing
see
down.
here.
There we go.
Okay. All right, there we go.
All right. Let's get you sworn in. If you'll raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name and position with the county, please.
Hi, my name is Travis Westry, and I'm a residential tax appraiser for Durham County.
All right. And this property is it Mr. Esteller? Is he present?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. I need to get you sworn in too. Can you turn your camera on?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. Hello.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm that, you need to raise your right hand, please. Do you
Okay.
swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes,
And are you comfortable with this Zoom format for your appeal?
yes.
Okay. All right, we'll turn it back to Mr. Westry and we'll come to you later after he's done his testimony, all right?
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Westry, what's the story with this one?
This property, the homeowner appealed the property because of the value. The homeowner purchased this property in May of 2020 for about $268,000. And the current value that we have on this property was at 200. Let's see here. The current value was at $292,000.
Okay, and this is based on comparable sales that you have?
Correct. And we did provide the comps for this in that neighborhood. This is a new neighborhood. So everything over here was built in 2020.
Okay, can you show us the information?
Hey, Travis, I got it.
All right, appreciate it, Tim.
Okay.
And it's showing for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thanks.
Can you scroll up a little bit so we can see that last comparable, Tim? All right. So it looks like they're all in the 260s and 70s, and you're at 292.
And that's the current value. But if you see the, you look up, if you scroll up to that, like this one, it's sold for 281. Comp 2 sold for 275, and Comp 3 sold for 311,000. They're all townhomes, and most of them are all in the just alike as far as square footage, grade, bedroom and bathroom count. There's not too many differences with these homes.
Well, I'm just trying to understand that those numbers, the adjusted sale prices at the bottom, are all below your valuation.
Correct. And that's mainly because of the date that was purchased. On the date sold, for some reason the system discounted about $15,000 on this first one and $15,000 on the second one, which they were the same month. So I'm not sure why the system discounted that.
Okay, so that you think there's an error in the program that.
Yeah, because
So
it shouldn't have discounted, because if it's literally 1 day apart on the second one and 7 days apart on the first one. The only difference was the one in the third comp, which sold in November.
Okay. So we should really concentrate on the top numbers, because they're essentially the same.
Right, the sale price.
Okay. All right. So can you scroll down one more time, please, Tim? Okay. So, all right. Okay. All right. It's your turn, sir. What evidence do you have for us?
Okay, so if you go further down the street, all the tax values are backdated to 2019, right? Is that correct? That's what the form said I was mailed.
January 1st, 2020, right? Is that
January 1st. No, I think I got a form earlier that said it was 2019, because it's a 2-year increment, right? Where you guys redo the tax values.
okay? All right.
Right, so it's backdated 2019, and their houses on the street, down my street, that were had their tax set in 2019, and they're all the way down to like 220 for the tax value. And like he said, all the houses in the neighborhood are exactly the same, so they should have the same tax value. So my house should have the same tax value as same houses that were set in 2019, because they're all backdated to that time, and those have around like 200,020. And I put all those lot numbers in my evidence through the form online, and I have a copy of them here too, if I can give them to you.
Okay, Mr. Westry, what's your response?
Yes, a lot of these homes were built in 2020. So in 2019, those tax values on those other properties may not be 100% complete homes.
No, the 100%, the ones that weren't complete just have land value, and those are in the 70s. So those ones that were taxed were complete homes, and all this is backdated to 2019. So I should have the 2019 value on my house.
Can you bring the comparables back up, please, Tim?
So what he had there was the street. We can look at the street, and I can show you the ones lower down the street are the earlier ones that have really low tax value.
Well, I'm just wondering if these adjustments aren't valid for the 5 months. Are they? Now, how many months is that? That's the valuation was January 1st of 19. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's when they should be backdated too. So all the houses in the neighborhood should have the same value, even though they all have different, right? Even though they all appreciated over the last 2 years, they appreciated like crazy, right? So if the tax value was set in like 2020, like mid 2020, that 300,290 is accurate. But if you backdated it to 2019, which is what the law says, they should be in the 220 range, because that's what they were valued then at that time, and actually get that same value.
Well, I'm looking here at the comparables, and it looks like The comparable.
If you look at the tax value for the comparables I sent in,
Just a minute.
that's
sir.
the ones they
Look-
have. These
looks
are the
like
ones
they were
they
all-
picked, those ones they compared it to.
Yeah, just a minute, sir. It looks like these all of these sold like a year and a half after the valuation day. Isn't that correct, Mr. Western? So maybe
Correct.
that time
And,
is
and
valid.
that is because this is a new neighborhood. It was a new neighborhood that was literally just started building in 2020.
Right. I understand that, but I'm looking here, there should be some adjustment made for that year and a half difference. And that maybe that's what your chart here is showing, that adjustment.
And it could be.
So it seems to me that the numbers down at the bottom are the ones really that are more accurate than the ones up at the top.
I have a question, David. So what
Yes.
does the homeowner's value, what value does he submit?
The homeowner, I think, submitted $220,000, but the purchase price was at $269,000.
It looks to me like it's somewhere in between, because I'm looking at these comparables here and I'm seeing what 267, 260, 288.
Right. So if we were to do the adjustment based on these, on the adjusted sales price, he would be in the 260s, probably comp 1 and 2. They're just like his property. So you're looking at the 260 to 267 range.
Well, I would be lower than those because my home value was a good 10K lower than all those comps there. Right. And Days a corporation, they wouldn't give me a discount on a house just because they know my house is valued worth less. And they took it 15% off all those houses. So you got a 15% off of my purchase price too, at the very least.
Well, what do the rest of you all think? Does the board have any other questions or comments?
I'm trying to make sure I understand. We're setting, when this was completed, is we're trying to get the new tax value for 20, because was it completed in 2020?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're setting a new tax value for completion for the tax year 2020.
Right. So if they do that, from the looks of these comps, and that adjusted sales price, it looked like they took off about $15,000 on the some of the exact same properties. They took off about $15,000 of that sales price to come up with that new adjusted value.
Well,
Right. The value we want though is January 1st of 2019, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And these properties here sold, well, the first two sold in May of 2020. So that's 17 months we need to adjust for. And it looks like your system adjusted for 15,000.
Correct.
So, I mean, it seems to me that the value ought to be closer to the 260, 267 value.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think so too.
And as far as the 221, sir, where did that 221 number come from again?
That comes from comps that were actually built in 2019, lower down the street in the neighborhood. So it's on the same street, same houses, like he said, just far down the streets that were built earlier. So they were actually tax dated for 2019. And I can give you those parcel numbers if you can look them up in the system.
Do you have anything other than just the parcel numbers?
I have the parcel number, the sale number, and the value in like a document that I put as my evidence.
Okay, can we
In
see
the
that
online
document?
form. I don't know if you can pull that up, or I can show you like the draft I made of it in my, if I share my screen.
No, we should have it. Tim, do you have that information?
Is it under a certain name? I see a lot of PNG files. Just want to make sure I'm not overlooking it.
Yeah,
A lot
I
of
can
images.
just the parcel number, so you can search it here probably. I don't know if that's easier.
Well, are you the owner of this property, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Westry, can you help Tim maybe find the file?
Sure. Give me 1 second here. All right. That file should be, Tim, if you go to Spatialist,
Mm-hmm. Is it this PDF that I'm seeing here, maybe?
look to the right side. If you go to Spatialist and you go to his parcel, and on the right side where everything, the SRR letter, Board of ENR and all that good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
go to the top and go click on Started. And under Started, there says 4 documents there.
Okay, so those are the ones that were.
Yes, just click on the
Okay.
count files, and therefore.
Well, you can see the one he's clicked on right now, right? You can see the total value is 224.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of tap through each one of these. Just open the other two real quick.
Are these sale prices or these tax values?
Those are tax values at the bottom. Tax appraisal value.
Right.
Total.
But we're looking, we need to know what those properties sold for. Do you have that information?
Well, doesn't what matters the tax value you guys assessed in 2019? Shouldn't my house have the same tax values, other values in the same neighborhood that are the same houses?
Well,
Like he
we
said
don't have
earlier,
all the
same neighborhood.
information about those properties. So, what we need is not tax values, but what other properties are sold for.
Yeah. Those sold all from like the 260 range or so. Like 260 or 300 was about the average in the neighborhood.
This might show it a little bit better. I think it's in the details part of what was submitted.
Yeah, you can see all the parcel values, all the parcel numbers there at the bottom of that first text.
Let's see, it's at 290, 275.
But the value you guys assessed, right? Like my things get corrected to the value, not the sale price. Because it's all backdated to 2019.
Sale price is what we need to go by. We can't go by the tax values.
But why should I pay more taxes on a similar house than my neighbor?
Well, it could be those are too low. There's too many other, we have to go by comparable sales. We're just looking at your property.
Sorry, can you repeat your answer to my question of why should I pay more taxes on the same property than my neighbor?
Well, there may be differences that we don't know about.
They're all cookie cutter houses. He said it earlier, they were all houses by the same builder in the same neighborhood, and they're all new construction. What difference could there be? And my house is at a lower sale value, which means it should be worth less to begin with. Right? Because Pulte wouldn't give me a discount just because they like me, right? They're multi-million-dollar corporation. They know how to value houses.
We just have to go by the evidence, and the evidence that we need are what properties are sold for, not what other tax values are. So, maybe these other properties are too low. There could be other factors that we don't know about.
Gotcha.
So, all right. So let's get back to the board. So it seems to me that we need to lower this for the sales price, sales date. And we've got information in the 260s. So I don't know what the rest of you all think.
I'm agreeable to adjusting it down to like 260, 265, kind of an average.
I'm second that.
Okay. Well, let's pick an exact number if everybody's okay with it. Jeanette?
Let's go with 265.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Gary. Sir, we've reduced it down. If you're still not happy, you can appeal this to the state board.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Miss Austin, I think I saw you here a minute ago.
Yes, I'm here.
Can we
Regina Austin.
All right, can we get there we go. All right, I need to get you sworn in, please. If you will raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Are you comfortable using this Zoom format for your appeal?
Yes,
And you are the owner of these two properties we're going to be looking at on Gloucester and Claremont?
yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Westbury, what do you have on these two?
Okay. Which parcel would you like to talk about first?
Doesn't matter, whatever's easier for you.
Okay. On 17 Glucose, parcel 150847. The homeowner appealed the value of this property, and based on the comps in the neighborhood, I did not see anything that needed to be adjusted.
All right. Do you have some comparables for this one?
Yes, I do. I submitted 5 comps for that one.
Can you pull them up, Tim?
Oh, yes, shortly, I think I just downloaded it. And here they go.
And as you can see, most of the properties, even the square footage had been adjusted on these, because the square footage is about 100 to 200 square foot difference. But all the grades are the same on this property, and the condition is an average condition. There's no difference between these homes, and the age was adjusted about a year or two, because this home was built in 1981. And the top 3 comps were built in 79. And they all were either sold more or valued more than the subject.
Yeah, I was wondering, these are all, a fair amount higher than the value that you put on there. Is this
Correct.
a factor that you considered?
Yep.
Your value is what, 279, and these are 324, 308, and 327?
Correct.
Is there some other factor that had you pick lower?
No, this is just her tax value. We did not, I made no changes to the property.
Okay. All right. Okay, Miss Austin, it's your turn. Do you have any information for us on what do you think the property is worth and how you arrived at it?
Okay, yes, I also had comparables. 1000 Sedgwick West. This property, 17 Gloucester Court, is in Lake Park subdivision, and so are these properties I noted. 1000 Sedgwick West sold for $261,500, and the tax fair market value was $298,178. 1001, I'm sorry, 1001 Sedgwick West sold for $245,000, tax value, fair market value $231,900. 5708 Williamsburg Way sold for $258,000, tax fair market value $274,78. Currently, 17 Gloucester
Miss
Court
Austin, it
is
seems like
tax.
that your value is kind of in line. These are pretty much in line with the value that the county put on your property.
I disagree, and if you'll let me just continue for just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
There have not been significant improvements to this. In fact, there's a wide disparity among values and taxes in the same neighborhood, and even houses on the same street in the neighborhood. So, for example, 26 Gloucester Court, the fair market value is listed as $229,992. And 24 Gloucester Court, the tax fair market value is listed at $231,889. 17 Gloucester Court is more similar to these properties in terms of square footage, age, and condition. Also, 17 Gloucester Court is rental property, and it has been empty. And according to your number 4, the income produced by the property indicates more value. And I submitted tax returns that showed it has been empty. Also, the comparables that you showed seem to have been upgraded more than 17 Gloucester Court. And my estimated value is 230.
Okay. Mr. Wesley, did you know the condition? Did you know this was a rental property?
We definitely did not know that, but as you can see on my comps, everything in that neighborhood, all the comps that I chose were average homes with a C+ grade. And the comps that she provided, that the homeowner provided, they were off. Some of them were off by about 400 or 500, 600 square feet, which explained that difference in values that she was seeing. But as far as the grade of this home goes, we have it at a basic average style home with a little bit over 2,600 square feet.
Okay.
That house does not have 2,600 square feet. I don't know where you're getting your, and you are welcome to go measure it. I encourage you to do that. And the condition of the house that you showed, I can't see that on my screen. I don't know if you can make it larger, but I can't see the ones that you used. This is a rental property, and you can even see from the yellow door, I would never have painted a door yellow.
Well, ma'am, do you know how many square feet this house has?
It's roughly 2,000 and some change.
Well, it sounds like we might need to go measure that house to know for sure the square footage.
Yes, the house was remeasured, but we can definitely go out and go into the home to see.
Right. Since there is some dispute there, that might be a good idea. You could also check on the condition of it, since it's a rental property. Is that acceptable to the board to delay this one until it's measured so we'll know for sure the square footage and the condition?
I'm in agreement.
I'm in agreement.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion regarding that.
We do this. I move that we reschedule hearing after the county had a chance to verify the square footage.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say
I'd
aye.
like to add that in addition to just verifying the square footage, that you verify the condition also.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I said that too. Yeah, to go inside.
I just wanted to make sure that was part of the record. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next one. This one is on Claremont Road.
Yes, I actually emailed the homeowner on June 22nd, and I wanted to let her know that the SRR letter that she received did not reflect the revised value. And that revised value was, let's see here. That revised value was at $121,921. And the homeowner had recommended a value of $120,000. And I just wanted to see if she was willing to accept that revised value.
Ma'am, do you understand he's come almost down to your value?
Almost close. That's close. I thought that 121 would be mutually agreeable for both parties.
Okay. All right. So you accept the 121,921. Is that correct?
No, I said, I think 121.
Well, you know, that's such a small amount, man. We only adjust if it's more than 5%. And taxes on $921 would probably be less than $1.
That property is also vacant. What I'm doing is paying your taxes and.
Okay. All right. Any discussion from the board? She wants it lowered to 121. The county's at 121,921.
I move that we uphold the county's position.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we're gonna go with the county on that one. It's such a close amount to what you already are willing to accept. And he'll come out, or somebody will come out and measure the other property and check the condition. All right? And if you're not happy with the
Yes, and
321, you can appeal it.
And
Okay?
I'm sorry, do you have a date for me for the next appeal?
Not yet, but you'll receive a notice when it's rescheduled.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Austin.
Thank you.
All right, anything else, Courtney?
Nope, that's it. And the meeting for next Wednesday is canceled. And I'll keep you all posted each week if we're gonna have meetings or not.
I want to say that I saw the information that Travis had as far as the comparables, and I really like that. It's got the adjustments. That's really helpful for us to see what's going on there.
Okay.
So I don't know what the new system is, but tell whoever that's really helpful, and we really like that.
Good. All right.
Okay. All right, everybody.
Thanks,
Anything?
guys.
All right. See you guys. Whenever Courtney tells you to. Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. Have a good one.
Good
Bye-bye.
one.